How should I track? What should I track? Is tracking right for me? These are the questions you might have if you're watching today. Welcome. I'm Brian Pombo. This is the Orange Office. We're in Grants Pass, Oregon, and this is Brian J. Pombo Live. Today we're talking about tracking and how tracking can completely change your life if you do it right, okay? We're going to talk about how to apply it to your business. And this is in reference to yesterday's video that we did where we discussed whether you're faking yourself out or not. Because the 11th commandment is thou shalt not fake thyself out. So we're talking today about one of the main lessons that I got out of this book, The One Thing. This book has a million lessons in it, but I'm just going to cover some of the basics. Today we're covering the concept really of goal setting, but I don't like seeing it as that because that's more of the means as far and not as much the end. What we're going to do is focus on the end, and we're going to talk about tracking a little bit here, okay? How do you go about tracking? How do you know what you should be tracking so that you know you're not faking yourself out? Okay, so there's a reference. This comes to page 150. This is figure 24 in the hardback book of The One Thing by Gary Keller. And it's goal setting to the now. So this is your first step. If you really have no idea what you should be focusing on, if you don't know what the one thing is that you should be focusing on, we're going to be talking about that more about tomorrow. This is a good exercise on how to get there. And you'll want to start out with a great big someday goal, meaning eventually this is where I'd like to be in my own personal life. This is how much money I'd like to make. This is the type of place I'd like to live in, and just design the ideal lifestyle as far as you can see it. And this is way far in the future. This could be beyond 10 years, okay? Someday this is where I'd like to be. And this says BHAG. That stands for Big, Hairy, Audacious Goal. That comes from Jim Collins, who wrote Good to Great. I believe that was from his book Built to Last, where he talks about BHAGs and having a big, hairy, audacious goal. You may also hear it referred to as the dream, as the big dream that you have. What is that someday goal for you? Outline that as best you can, and outline what it's going to take in your current position with your current business. What is it going to take to get there? This should be something very personal. And then you take it from there and you start breaking it down into an amount of years. So let's say you go from there to a 10-year goal. Okay? And you outline that. What is your 10-year goal? In the next 10 years, 10 years from today or 10 years from the beginning of next month or what have you, where do you see yourself at? How much money are you going to be making? How big is your business? And try and define it as best as possible. And then from there, and this, once again, deceptively simple, but the fact that you haven't done it yet is telling you why you don't know what you should be tracking or not. We're going to get more into how to go about tracking, but we're just talking about what you should be tracking. So from a 10-year goal, you want to go to a 5-year goal. And from a 5-year goal, you go to a 2-year goal, and then a 1-year goal. And we'll just bring it up here so you can see a little better. All the way to like a 6-month goal. Where are you going to be in 6 months? What's your business going to look like? How many new customers are you going to have, or whatever your metric is that you use to measure success in your business? Where are you going to be in 6 months? Okay, and then from there, break that down into where are you going to be in 3 months? And then you break that down into 1 month. And then this is where it gets tricky. It gets tricky here. I'm gonna break the month down into weeks. Okay, where are you gonna be in the next week? And there's no hard set way of how to do this. Okay, you could break it into from 6 months to 5 months to 4 months. It's all on how you decide to do it. But break it into weeks. So by the end of next week, or whenever you're deciding to start tracking, where do you need to be? Where do you need to be in line with your someday goal or your 10-year goal? It doesn't matter where this big goal is, but you have the concept of a big goal in a certain period of time, and then you start breaking it down. This is just simple division math. You start dividing it down all the way down to the week, and then you come down to, from the week, what is each day? What is each day? What does that call for you? Does it mean new customers? Does it mean new clients? Does it mean new accounts opened? It all depends on your specific business, but what does that mean for you on a daily basis? Maybe it means, maybe you just need a new customer every month. Maybe that's your style of business. All you need is a new customer once a month, and that will set you on track for your 10-year goal. If that's the case, then your goal per day isn't going to be get a new customer. Your goal per day is, okay, how many phone calls, whatever the connection point is, where does it start? You've got to break it all the way back down. So maybe out of 100 phone calls, you get one customer. Okay, so if you know it's going to take a month, you got to divide up 100 phone calls over 30 days. And then you'll know every day how many phone calls you have to make, that type of thing. You break it down to the most basic action, and then you start tracking. How many, let's say it's phone calls that you have to do, or letters that you have to send out, or emails, whatever. Let's say phone calls, just for the sake of simplicity. How many phone calls do I have to do today? And are you watching? I bet you haven't been watching it up till now. I bet you didn't know how many it was going to take to get to your big, hairy, audacious goal, to get to the big thing, or at least something measurable like a 10-year goal. You didn't know how much it was up till now, so you weren't tracking it. And if you aren't tracking it, it's never going to get there. You see, these things can happen by accident. They can happen if you hire somebody else, but someone along the way is going to have to be tracking progress. What you measure, oftentimes they'll say what you measure is what grows. Honestly, what you measure goes in the direction you want it to go. So if you're measuring your weight and you want your weight to go down, it's going to start naturally going down if you're just measuring it. If you're weighing yourself daily, you will lose weight. Guaranteed. It's not going to happen every day, but you will start losing weight without any other changes if you just start tracking it. It'll happen. It's all about just paying attention. It's all about awareness. It's all about just watching it over and over again. Your way to do it will become more and more clear just because you're paying attention to that metric. It's boring stuff, but you do it once and then you build the habit of tracking on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. Everything will improve for you, guaranteed. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Leave a comment wherever you're watching this. Also, if you happen to be a business owner in the self-reliance field, or an executive, if you happen to be one of the big people in charge at your company, and you sell products or services to people to help them become more self-reliant, you're somebody I'd like to talk to. Go to dreambizchat.com. At dreambizchat.com, you'll see a video there, very similar to this one, where I'm standing in front of a whiteboard. It is 8.5 minutes long. Go and watch it. If you find it interesting, go and fill out the application. Now, all it is it's for a dream business transformation where you and I will get a chance to talk. Hi, Joe. We have some live people watching. And be sure and show up tomorrow. We are going to talk about another concept out of this book, The One Thing. Actually, tomorrow we're going to be talking about the main concept, a very simple sentence out of this book that could quite possibly change your life. We'll see you tomorrow. You have a great night.